Can y'all see? Okay, I'm gonna place it right here. Let me get myself comfy. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Valencia Kinge if you're new here, and today I'm going to be doing a video all about manifestation. Manifestation. So basically I have a list of like YouTube video ideas stored on my notes app on my phone, and this has been a topic that's kind of been reoccurring on the list. Like, it's been this topic but in different forms. So how I manifested this, how I manifested that. And in today's video I'm going to start off with a video on how I manifested basically coming here abroad in France, and mainly how I got here in France, and also in particular how I manifested getting my internship here over the summer, because that's one of my recent manifestations. And it's been one of my recents, and it's been one of the quickest manifestations ever, to be honest. Like, okay, I'll get into it, but yeah, I have a rough list of how I want this video to be filmed. The first thing I'd like to touch on in this video, also, I'm wearing my glasses for once. I think this is probably the first or second time I'm filming a YouTube video with my glasses on, but let me stop talking about that. That's not important. First thing I'd like to talk about in regards to manifestation is something quite important actually, that I just want to touch on and, you know, make highlighted and important to somebody out there. First things first. Okay. Yeah, I've had quite a journey with my manifestation method. Basically, I just want to highlight that I know, especially on social media and on TikTok, I'm not on TikTok, but from what I've heard and the things I've been seeing online, there's this kind of like new wave of like people pushing this idea of manifestation as in you kind of, as if, so it's kind of like two spectrums where like there's people pushing the ideas of like in order to manifest things that you desire, you have to be constantly thinking about those things, like you have to be constantly putting in work for those things to be achieved. And then there's also the flip side of the spectrum where there's people advising you that all you have to do is just think about it and it'll come. Honestly, both of them are not completely wrong, because there's truths in both aspects of each of the spectrums. But on one end it's like going overtime trying to get your things to work, and then the second aspect is basically doing the bare minimum for things to come, which is, you know, you have to find a middle ground with those things. Okay, I don't even know how to describe it. The way I manifest is kind of very I don't even know, it's kind of hard to describe, but in this video I'm trying my best to describe how I do it. Basically, my manifestation method basically involves a mixture of prayer, visualization, journaling, and speaking into existence. And then there's also people talking about the law and all these things. Honestly, it's so complex, but basically those things are a mixture of what I have always done. I don't know what I'm saying. This is a very difficult topic to kind of film, because I don't want people to take my method word for word, because everyone's manifestation methods are all different. Like, everything works for people in different ways. There's not a set way to manifest, is basically what I'm trying to say. So in me sharing my tips, it's only my point of view, my perspective. Hopefully there's a couple of things that will, you know, from my advice, you guys will pick up on and try add onto your methods of doing things. But I'm not saying in any way or form that this is the single way to do things. This is just how I have done my things and how it's just kind of worked out in my favor up until this present day. I definitely do want to highlight though that I do make God a major part of my manifestation methods, because I know some people, when they manifest, like they speak to the universe, they speak to kind of a different source. I just want to clarify that the source I really resonate with, the source I communicate with the most, is God. So it's along with God and just other factors that come into the way, but God is like the source that I know plants these things in my life. I'm not pushing the idea onto anyone else if that's not what resonates with you. Throughout this video I'll be referring to God a lot, as in he has been the one who assisted me into reaching my desired goals. You know, it's kind of like teamwork. So me and God, we work together, and in the end this is how things worked out. Okay, real briefly, I just wanted to highlight that I have manifested things before I even knew what manifestation was. Like, okay, let me get myself comfortable. Yo, I feel like every time I film I'm wearing these purple pajama bottoms on the bottom. Okay, I think it's okay. But yeah, basically I've been manifesting before I knew what manifestation really was. Like, technically I've always been a child that liked writing and reading, so I low-key kept like scripting journals. Point of view where I was like a child, I was writing things of like I made like lists of like things I want to achieve by 20, things I want to achieve by 15, things I want to achieve by a certain age, and I didn't even know that I was like unintentionally manifesting and scripting those things into existence. I still have the old journals of where I have my list of things I'd like to achieve, and honestly I like to always look back onto them and like tick off the things that have been manifested one by one. Honestly, not all of them have been manifested yet, but they're all achievable things, and I know that one day for sure it's all gonna be a list that's completely ticked off. But it's just really cool to be able to look back onto like 15-year-old me, 14-year-old me, 13-year-old me, like writing to myself, future me, present me, about things that past me really longed for in life. And I feel like it's really humbling to keep those things, because we just get so caught up in once our manifestations are actually achieved and once they actually manifest, we just tend to overlook the struggle, not the struggle, but like the drive that was behind it once upon a time. Once it's here, we tend to take it for granted and forget that this was something that a while ago, or a really long while ago, that your younger self always longed for. So every time I look at things I manifested, like my camera, my other camera, my phone, my laptop, like honestly a lot of things that younger me could only ever imagine of actually obtaining. So the fact that these are actually my possessions, that, you know, it's always just, it always gets to me when I actually try and deep that, you know, there was a lot of things that I once wanted that I actually got. And to be honest, a lot of those things I got without putting once I let go of like I have to get this, I have to, and once you just kind of let things be, of course you have to put your intentions and put some action and work into what you want to be, what you want to obtain. Like be intentful with the things you want to bring into your life. Like do your part. I'll talk about the way what you have to do, but basically you have to do your part and then let the rest just come to you. Do your part, and part B is just let it come into fruition. Like that part is up. Okay. When it comes to part B, you have no control over that. When it gets to stage B, you just have to trust and believe and put faith into what it is that you want. Because if you stress over part B, trust me, that's going to delay the process. It's going to get you paranoid and you'll feel like you're not seeing any changes, because there's a lot of behind the scenes work that you just don't have to see. There's a lot of behind the scenes things that you don't need to be involved in. All you have to do in regards to behind the scenes part of your manifestation methods or your manifestation journey in order to obtain what it is you want, all you have to do in that aspect is believe that things are working in your favor and just let it form. You need to let it do it. It needs to do its thing, so it doesn't like to be disturbed. So you need to let that that side of the manifestation process do its own thing. So basically for part A, you do your thing. Part B, let the rest do its own thing. So just to touch more on the main point of what this video is probably going to be titled, how I manifested my internship in particular. How I manifested my internship, in line with that more money, in line with that staying longer in France, because if I had not found my internship when I found it, I probably would be packing my bags right now en route back to Ireland, probably working at my old job over the summer, doing the same routine I've done for the past 4 years since I first started my job back in secondary school. I'm going to talk about the intent I had and why I felt that I had a deeper purpose in actually finding an internship in order to stay here in France over the summer. But really briefly, just to talk about how I even found myself in this position to be able to say that I wanted to find an internship here over the summer, is way back since throwback to when I found out what Erasmus was basically when my older sister was doing her Erasmus in Belgium. I found out about what Erasmus was through her. She was like the first one in college. At this point I was still in secondary school. I don't know what year I was in, but she was doing her college thing, and then out of nowhere she started speaking about this Erasmus thing, which is a semester, well hers was 2 semesters abroad, which was basically the whole 3rd year of her course, but for me it was only the second part of my semester. Basically through her I found that, oh, like students can actually, you know, study abroad for a semester as part of the degree. Like I never knew this was a thing basically until she introduced it into the household. She went abroad, did her thing, lived her life, you know, shared her experiences about how she found it. And it was just I feel like it's very important for students to be able to experience that if it's available to them and if they can afford it, because I'm not gonna lie, if the finances aren't there, don't stress yourself. Like, if you can afford it, definitely, you know, push yourself to experience the whole new culture scene. But it's not for everyone, so I'm not going to speak on that too much. Since then, I was always like, yeah, when I'm in college, I'm going to apply for Erasmus semester 2. That even shows back to how I manifested getting my dream course in college. But yeah, I basically got my #1 choice of my college course. So I knew since even the first day that like this was the course I was gonna get accepted in. I don't know why, something just spoke to me when I went to the open day. I knew this was the environment I was gonna be in. I just always told myself since day one, okay, I'm in college. When it's third year, because it's usually typically third year that courses in Ireland offered Erasmus period abroad. So I knew like, okay, first year, second year, grind, because in third year I'm going on Erasmus. I don't care who says what, I am going on Erasmus. And that's pretty much the attitude I had about knowing that Erasmus was just meant for me. Like, I was always telling everybody, Erasmus. It was just for me. I always knew it was for me. And along with that, obviously putting in the work, like preparing the portfolio, making sure I got decent grades throughout first and second year, because that does play a factor in getting selected. All these things I just really prepped for, but that's just the little backstory of how I got accepted into my Erasmus course. Also, I want to let you know that when you manifest things, be prepared for like little loose ends. Like when I manifested we're going abroad, I always kind of low-key narrowed it down to Belgium, but in the end, when I actually saw the list of the countries that were available, I knew that my vision was a little bit too narrow. But in the end, I knew I wanted to go to a country that speaks French, so it was either going to be Belgium or France. But I don't know, because my sister went to Belgium, I was hard set on going to Belgium. Of all places, the country I got was France, and of all places in France, my second choice, not even my first choice, because I wanted to play it safe with my first choice, so I chose a smaller university town in France, which was Nantes. I don't know if you guys know it, but I chose that as my first choice. Didn't get it, was heartbroken, was like, yeah, that's it, it's over for me, because everyone was just kind of scaring me out of choosing Paris as #1. Like, I was just hearing all these like horror stories, the city is rough, just all these stereotypical things of the city. But in the end, Paris chose me, and that's how I'm here. So I got my second choice, but honestly, I wouldn't have had it any other way. This was just meant to be. Like, me and Paris are like this. We were just I'm very happy that, you know, I found my way here. Yeah, and then in regards to manifesting my internship, I kind of started planning that around February of this year, because some other international students that I was like in classes with, they were low-key spectating on like staying over the summer, finding an internship, blah 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 blah. And then I was like, honestly, great for them, like I'm totally on board and in support of them doing that. Then I was like, hey, I don't want to go back either. I can prepare my portfolio and just stay here for the summer too and experience more of the French culture over the summer. So nothing was stopping me. Like, I had the work that I could do to update my portfolio. All I had to do was update my portfolio from English to French, and with the new pieces that I did from semester 1. Basically April, I updated, I collected everything that I did since then, all my upgraded, improved work, and just made a portfolio 2.0 for internships and companies and businesses here in Paris, and was just like emailing a bunch of companies, you know, CV, updated my CV, did everything, did the whole lot, just trying to get myself out there. Basically, part A and B. Part A is up to you. I prepared my portfolio, updated my CV, went on the websites, applied, emailed, Google Translate, you know, interview, going into the places for interviews, seeing the environment, not really vibing with it, not hearing a call back, getting declined, not hearing a response. I went through all of it. I also did low-key leave it last minute. Like, I started towards the end of April, and during that period my school was closed, so I couldn't get much support from the school because they had their 2-week Easter break. And around that time, that's when I really started pushing for it. I really started preparing my portfolios, really started taking it seriously that, okay, I have a set timeline. So I was starting to panic because I had an interview, really had high hopes for this one. I was looking for somebody to stay, longer than I could stay for, so it obviously didn't work out, and I was kind of heartbroken from that and discouraged for like a week. Then after the week I went back on like trying, because at this point it was like start of May. Everyone from my international course who said that they were planning on finding an internship had already kind of started finalizing their stuff. Some people already started, and I was just kind of getting nervous like, whoa, what's wrong with me? Like, am I doing something wrong? I just started to kind of wither with my belief and faith in the process. But little did I know, everything was happening for a reason. Like behind the scenes, literally the job that I found, when she sent the pictures of like the site that we're working on, the pictures that she was taking, the date she was taking those pictures was the week that I was stressing, saying I'm not gonna find anything. Little did I know that literally as I was thinking all of that, the project I'm working on right now at work was literally just in its beginning form. So like it was just still site visits, it was still photographs, like seeing, it was still, the project was just launching, and I was here stressing that it's too late, I won't find anything in time. Literally the project was still launching and getting itself prepared for me, which is kind of really crazy to say, but literally don't doubt it. Just don't doubt the timing. Like have a rough cutoff date of like when you want something to be achieved, if it's in that priority. If it's more long term, like 5 years, 2 years, a year, those things are different. But for me, I had a restricted time frame because I knew when I finished my course in May, which was this week was the last week of classes, I needed something to do in order to stay for the summer financially, because I could not have stayed here without this internship, because I would not have been financially stable. To touch on the methods that I kind of use, and I'll explain them a bit roughly, is honestly talking with God. Like I be having conversations with God, like, you know, I can get inside my head, so when I need to, like, you know, confide in someone, he just keeps me reassured to keep going basically and not lose faith and belief in my hopes and desires. So keeping God by my side is honestly something that I find super important when it comes to me manifesting. So point 2 is speaking stuff into existence, which I briefly kind of talked on. When I know that I want something, I already speak as if I have it. I don't say if. I avoid using things like if, maybe, not yet. Like I already speak as if it's physically in front of me, like I'm holding it, I'm touching it, I can bite it, I can taste it, I can smell it, I can feel it, I can do all of that. Like when I speak, when I know that it's something I really want, I already believe that I have it basically. So when I speak with people, another thing as well to speak on point 3, when you speak with people, only speak those things that you're trying to manifest with a certain handful of people. Like not everyone needs to know what you're still planning to do. Like keep your next move. What's those things that, what's that video that's going around on TikTok, like never let them know your next move? Basically select the people who you want to know your next steps. Keep it very limited. And even with that, don't let them know everything, but saying it to people that you trust can help you practice speaking things into existence and affirming that these things will happen. Doing your part is also very important. So like I said, in order for me to get this internship, I had to prepare a portfolio, I had to prepare my CV, I had to find the links, I had to find the companies and businesses to send out my CV towards and my portfolio. So basically I didn't just wake up and say, hey, I want an internship. Hey, people offer me, all these businesses offer me internship. I don't have CV, I don't have a portfolio, come to me and give me an internship. That's not how life works. Like I had to do my part, had to prove that I'm qualified for these things, do my part of things, and after that, let them reciprocate and let the chosen company come to me, basically. Also in regards to journaling, the thing is when I journal, it's not even like strictly manifesting, scripting type journaling. When I journal, it's just me talking to myself, like, dear diary, this, I did this today, I'm doing this tomorrow, I feel like this, my friend did this, you know, I ate this today. That's the kind of thing I journal about. But when I know that there's something that I'm planning on manifesting, I always make sure that I tell myself that in my journal. And like I tell myself, okay, hold on, what did I write the other day? I basically just write to myself that such and such is still in the works, is still sorting itself out. Because I remember before school started this semester, I was having some financial difficulties, and I was telling myself in my journal, this is still sorting itself out, this is still sorting itself out. And when I went back on it, I'm like, dang, like it really did sort itself out and worked out in my favor. So I tried to do the same thing again when I was applying for my internship. I was saying my internship is still sorting itself out, it's still in the works, it's still doing its thing. And little did I know, really quickly, honestly, just one of the quickest things I ever manifested in my life ever, a manifested financial gain and my internship. Just write as if you're talking to yourself. I know there's like a 369 method, like repeating things. I never did any of that stuff. When I write to manifest or script, whatever, I just journal and speak to myself. When there's something I know that I'm trying to obtain, I touch on it and leave it at that. Touch on it, leave it at that. And then when I look back on things, when time passes, when the thing I'm trying to obtain forms itself, like when it's in the works and when it finally is visible in this 3D dimensional world, I can look back on the writings I had before and say like, wow, it was actually still in the behind the scenes stage of its manifestation journey. This one is kind of complicated, but you need to be specific, but you also need to be vague. So what I say that is, you need to be intentful with what it is you want to obtain, but at the same time, this is what you want. This is, let's say this is where you are. You need to get from here to there. You need to know that you will get what it is you want. You know that you will get there. But what you don't need to worry about is what path you'll take to get there. You don't need to worry about if you go do this way, that way. You don't need to know who you'll hurdle over in your process to get there. But just know that what you want, it doesn't matter how they conjoin. You just need to know that you need to know what it is that you want, and from there doing your part of things, doing the other things I mentioned, the journaling, the speaking into existence, letting part B do its thing. It's bringing you guys together, because everything you can visualize you can have in this physical. The thing that slows us down in this physical world is just time. Time is just a very complex thing, but yeah, time's a very complex thing, but just know anything you can visualize you can literally have. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, because this is another video that I'll definitely make into a series. I hope that explains things, but just know that you need to know what it is you want, but you don't need to stress about how it is that you'll get to what it is that you want. And also in line with that, knowing what you want, be prepared that while you're in the process of trying to obtain it, or whatever goes on in between that behind the scene part of things, know that what you want could like transform. So like, what you want could also just be the baseline, but God could tell you like, yeah, you deserve this plus that plus this much. So just know that what it is you want could multiply, flourish, like it can be what you want and plus more blessings on top. So just in the process of adding those blessings on top, there could be delays in the physical 3D world that we live in, and that could stress you out, that can make you panic, that could be like, no, that's not what I wanted, what's going on, what's the hold up? Basically the hold up is what you asked for is just the bare minimum. You're getting blessed on top of that. And then with visualizing, I do use visualizing to an extent. Like when I do my wallpapers to my laptop, I make sure to include little clips of things that I want in my life. Basically, I try to include images on my wallpapers, because I feel like, especially with my wallpaper, it's my laptop is something I see almost daily. Either that's more abundance, places I want to travel, clothes I want to wear, makeup looks I want to try, cars I possibly want to own in the future, anything like that. I just try to include little clips of that in my wallpapers, and that's my form of like visual, that's one of my forms of visual manifestations. Basically, in a sense, my wallpapers are visual mood boards. And then with visualizing, you will know when you've obtained what it is that you wanted. So when something finally comes to you, I always say this to people, like when they're like, how did you get this? How did you find your internship? How did you buy your laptop? How did you get your camera? How did you do this? I always tell people, honestly, in the end, the job found me, the camera found me, the phone found me, the laptop found me. In the end, it always, Paris found me. Like really, Paris literally did find me, because this was not something I honestly could have ever expected. Honestly, for real, Paris did find me. So when I say that, I really do mean it, that like when you have your intention, set it out, yeah, great, but in the end, know that the path, like what it is you want, will find you. You'll know that once it comes to you, once you know this is what you wanted, you'll know, okay, I reached it, I've obtained what I wanted to manifest. And it's a surreal feeling, because like it's very surreal. It's a very surreal feeling. I'll leave it at that, because I could speak about it all day, but basically I just wanted to really advocate that what it is you want will find you. That's it. Okay guys, I'm gonna stop blabbering. I feel like I've preached until my voice can only take so much right now. But I hope that this video helps you guys understand more about manifestation. If you're new to this whole manifestation thing, just to understand more about what it can do, the possibilities it can unlock. So basically, in a nutshell, that was my journey into how I manifested my internship. And honestly, I'm just very content. I'm very happy with where I am in life right now. So that's it for now. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. What are your certain techniques? What did you find interesting about my techniques? What other videos would you like to see me do in regards to manifestation and this whole topic in general? And please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.